So this is take 2 because yesterday I was trying to film this and the battery died. So now I'm doing it again. And if I'm a little sniffly, I'm sorry. My allergies are kind of all over the place today. If this is awkward, sorry. If this is a little weird, sorry. If you like it, good. Today we're gonna be filming this little guy's sleep routine and how I got him to sleep through the night. Can you say hi?
Aww.
So, go see Dad. Okay, sorry about the camera angle. I fixed it, so hopefully this is better. Okay, so I have 4 tips that I want to share with you guys. So the 4 tips, guys, is routine, sleep associations, ounces of food that they're getting during the day, and sleep training. So in our case, we did the Ferber method. If any of those sound interesting to you, then just keep watching. If not, then okay. With Easton's schedule, well, I'll just tell you his schedule. That way, if you want to try it, you can. He'll wake up around 7:30. He can only stay awake for about 2.5 hours, and I think that's pretty average for his age group. I think if you Google it, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's like 6 to 9 months can only stay up for 2 to 3 hours, so that is pretty average. If you hear anything in the background, my husband is sanding the table outside, so sorry about that. But yeah, so he'll wake up around 7:30, and then he can stay up for 2 to 2.5 hours. So he goes to sleep around 9:30. Which is actually 9:30 now, so we put him down to sleep. So see, he's pretty spot on with the schedule. And then he sleeps for about an hour and a half for his first nap. So he'll wake up around 11, and then once again, he can only stay up for about 2 to 2.5 hours. So I try to get him to stay up until 1:30, which most of the time I can do, so I don't know why I just did this. Most of the time I can do it. So he goes down for his second nap at 1:30, and he sleeps a longer stretch for his second nap. I'm not really sure why, but he just started doing that, so it works for him. And he'll sleep for about 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours if we're lucky. But he'll wake up around 3:30, and then after that nap, I keep him up until his bath, which is at 6:15 or 6:30, but here lately it's been 6:15. So my main point about this before I go any further is that they need to be cut down to 2 naps. So once Easton turned 6 months old, like the day he turned 6 months old, we cut out his 3rd nap, and we probably should have done it a little sooner. So if you find that your baby isn't sleeping well through the night and you have them on 3 naps still, take out that 3rd nap. So after bath, we will do like his pampering, and this boy knows his routine so well that right after he gets out of the bath, he is like fussy. He wants his milk, he wants to lay down, he wants to go to sleep. We have been doing bath time since he was like a month old, I want to say, and he knows that bath time means bedtime. Never underestimate the power of a good routine, guys. It is very good for them. When we lay him down, he usually just rolls over and goes right to sleep, but there's like that 10% of the time where he will roll around. He never cries anymore, so he just rolls around and he knows how to self-soothe, and he goes to sleep when he wants to. But 90% of the time, he immediately rolls over and goes to sleep. That is his routine. So the next thing that I want to talk about, well, actually, the main point that I want to point out about the routine is to go from 3 naps to 2 naps once they hit 6 months old, or if you're having a little bit of trouble, you know, around 5.5 months, then maybe they do need to drop that 3rd nap sooner. So just try that. That might help, because if they're getting too much sleep during the day, like they're not tired enough to sleep through the night, and that's even for adults. Like if you sleep all day, obviously you're not going to want to sleep at night because you're not tired. So it's the same for them. Just keep that in mind, and maybe that'll work for you. Okay, so the next thing is sleep associations, and you can actually Google this and probably a whole bunch of articles will come up, but babies will associate sleeping with being nursed, being bottle fed, being rocked to sleep, anything like that. So if they wake up in the middle of the night and they're not nursing, or they're not being bottle fed, or they're not being rocked, then they will cry because that's what they want to go back to sleep. That's what they need to go back to sleep, because that's what they're comfortable with. That's what they've learned to associate sleep with. So basically what you need to do is create a new association for them so they know how to self-soothe, and that is their sleep association, is like bath time. Easton knows it's time for bed. And we actually did a little bit of sleep training. So the sleep associations and sleep training kind of go hand in hand. I'll talk a little bit about the sleep training that we did, which is the Ferber method. It's like an interval training sleep training thing. So you will, like, I think the first night we did it with Easton, he cried for 32 minutes, and so it's sleep interval training, so you don't let them cry for a whole 32 minutes. You lay them down drowsy but awake. That is the key. They need to learn how to self-soothe, and they need to know that they're comfortable in their environment, and they need to, you know, learn the noises and everything like that. So when you lay them down, they need to be drowsy but awake. And so with Easton, he started crying immediately once we left the room. I'm pretty sure like 99% of babies probably cry if they're not used to something. So you will lay them down, they'll cry. You wait 3 minutes. You let them cry for 3 minutes, and then you go in and soothe them for 1 to 2 minutes, just to let them know that you're still there, that it's okay. You can talk to them, you can pat their back, you can shush them. And then you leave the room and you wait 5 minutes, and then you go in and self-soothe, and then you wait 10 minutes, self-soothe, 10 minutes, self-soothe, 10 minutes, and then I think that's it. I don't really remember exactly, but it's like you don't want to go over 30 minutes, or you like restart after 30 minutes or something like that. So if you're interested in that, I think you can probably just look up the Ferber method. We bought the book, but it honestly, sorry Ferber method book, but it just wasn't necessary to buy the whole book. You really just need that schedule and to kind of know about sleep association. So that's what I'm here to tell you about. If you want to buy the book, that's great. I mean, they do have a whole bunch of really good information about sleep and like REM sleep and sleep cycles and everything like that. So it is interesting, even for like adults. Like they talk about adults like sleep cycles and stuff, and it's just really interesting. And sleep training, very important to cut out sleep associations, let them learn how to sleep on their own and self-soothe. So we did the Ferber method. Like I was saying, the first night it took them 32 minutes to self-soothe, but we did it in intervals, so we would go in and, you know, check on them and everything. And but y'all, let me tell you, that same night he woke up, I think he slept like a 5-hour stretch, and he woke up, and even if they wake up in the night, you're still supposed to do the interval let them cry thing. So he woke up and it took 1 minute for him to self-soothe and go back to sleep. And then I think he woke up again and it took 1 minute for him to self-soothe and go back to sleep. And then he woke up again and I fed him. And I think that was like around morning time, so like 5 or 6. So obviously I was like, okay, he's probably hungry. So I fed him. Then by the third night, guys, he was sleeping 7 to 8 hour stretches again. And it's just been like ongoing ever since. So he's been doing like 7 to 8 hour stretches, and now and then it kind of like got more and more and more. So then it went to like 10, and then it went to 11, and now he's sleeping anywhere from 12 to 14 hours. So a full night's sleep. So he goes down at 6:30 and he wakes up at 7:30. So yay for sleep training. Easton, I don't think he was getting enough food during the day. I know that sounds awful, like he was still eating, but I don't think he was getting enough because he was like waking up. I think he was just hungry more so than like any sleep associations. So I actually had to start supplementing with formula just to see how much I was actually producing for him, and it was not good, guys. So no wonder he was waking up every hour and a half, because he was freaking starving. So my supply just has completely plummeted, and I actually stopped breastfeeding. It actually makes me want to cry. I don't know why, because it's just like mom guilt. I did not think I was gonna cry about it, but it's very sad. Like my goal was to do a year. I was not expecting my supply to plummet like this. I tried power pumping, and it just did not work. Easton's on food now, so it doesn't make me feel as bad. It shouldn't even make me feel bad at all. It's just the fact that I was really wanting to meet that goal and it didn't happen for me. You just try again with the next baby. So hopefully it works out better. But I mean, he's very healthy, he's growing, so that is all that matters. It just hit me like a ton of bricks because I wasn't like expecting it. So it's not that I feel bad about giving him formula, it's just I feel bad that I couldn't produce the milk for him long enough. So anyway, moving on. So you want to make sure that they're getting enough ounces during the day, whether that be just milk or milk and food like finger foods or purees or whatever. So we actually have these little bowls that I got off of Amazon, and I think they come in a pack of 18, and they go from 1 to 3 ounces. So we feed him 3 times a day, along with like however many bottles, like 5 bottles, 6 bottles or something like that. And he eats around 4 to 6 ounces each time he eats the purees. And we give him like 2 or 3 ounces of vegetables and then 2 or 3 ounces of fruit. The fruit helps with digestion, that's what my doctor said, so we make sure to give him both. We also give him finger foods, so like bananas, avocado, steamed fruits and veggies and stuff like that. He loves everything, thank God. He's not picky so far, but we will see. Just make sure that they are getting enough ounces during the day because they could be waking up hungry and not necessarily because of sleep associations. They could just be hungry. So just make sure that you are, if you need to track it, I had to track it, make sure that he was getting enough, and then it became a routine. So now I know he gets enough during the day. And for snacks, if he's ever like like a little fussy or we're like out in the store, I always bring those little teething biscuits and they melt in your mouth, and he loves those things. Anytime I pull out the package, he's like, he like does this. It's so funny. So routine, dropping the last nap, the 3rd nap. We made sure he was getting enough food during the day, and like the nap schedule, and then bedtime routine, very important, and then sleep training. So all those tips really helped us. I know I was rambling and rambling, but you know, I just start thinking about things and my mind goes in completely different places. I feel like that dog from Up when he's like, oh yeah, I'm talking.
Squirrel!
What I feel like. So hopefully when I edit this makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these, if you're going to try them, if they've worked for you, if you tried them. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop rambling now and I'm gonna let you go. I hope this helped you and I hope you enjoyed. All right, guys, bye.